Yes, hello guys, and welcome to the Brighton preview. Hala Madrid. As you can see, I'm joined today by these lovely gentlemen. We've got Sam with us, joining us on the preview. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm all right, mate. Just realised I don't actually know if United are going to ruin my weekend or not after Monday. So interesting.
Could actually have a string of positive results. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Shreyas, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, doing fairly well. Pretty excited for this preview as well. Really happy after last night's result coming out as well.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said Hala Madrid. City absolutely bottling it again, aren't they? Unlucky lads.
Could we say Fraudiola?
Fraudiola, yeah. Baldiola, whatever you want to go with. Today, guys, obviously it's a preview, it's tradition to talk about a couple of topical items before we get into the main part of the show. Now, Fabrizio Romano has been on a podcast today, caught offside, and he's been talking about some stuff regarding Manchester United. The first one I've got, so he said, Rashford's priority is to remain at United only if he will have guarantees of game time. Marcus wants to be important for the club and hopes for the World Cup with England. Ten Hag will decide together with the player. Sam, where do you see Rashford next year? What do you think? Do you think he'll be back in the team? Do you think he'll be fringe? Like, how do you see it playing out?
If he carries on the form he's playing now, he's going to see himself being sold, isn't he? Like, he's been absolutely abysmal this season. Like, one of the worst players in our team, and we've had some shit players in our team. I think he'll be given an opportunity under Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag could give him a season, maybe half a season, I'm not sure. They'll give him time to get back to his best, work with him, develop his game, get back to what he was doing when he was scoring 20-odd goals and assists and all that sort of stuff. I think he'll be given an opportunity. But I think if he doesn't perform or doesn't reach or doesn't improve on this season, I think he'd be gone, honestly.
Wow, so you're giving him one more season, and that's kind of like, it has to be really, isn't it? Like
everybody's allowed to have a bad season. Like, everyone's one bad season. So
yeah, that's why I'm trying not to be too reactionary to it. Like, it is a really bad season. It's not just a bad season. It's pretty awful the way he's been performing, and it's crazy because even like, you know, when we had bad games or whatever, he'd still pull something out of the bag. He'd get an assist or he'd get a goal, something along the lines of that. And I remember specifically Shreyas like a 6-month period where he was just murdering any player who came up against 1v1. Like Trent, for example, he would absolutely murder him. Against PSG, he played really well. Leipzig, and just looked like he was going to be this phenomenal player, like for the foreseeable, for, you know. But in regards to the way he's playing now, is there a way back? Is there a way back for Marcus Rashford? And what do you think's been the key to his downfall?
I think there is definitely a way back for him into this team because he has shown everyone what his true level and capability is. But at the moment, with the situation around the club, as it stands, it's going to be really difficult for him next season as well, because right now, I would say the only consistent winger giving us performances is Jadon Sancho. And except that, we've got Elanga, and then it's just Rashford. So it's obvious that next season we'll be getting a new winger as well, so an attacking midfielder, however you want to put it. But if you get a new player in that position where Rashford plays, and you've got a good mix of players coming in from the youth setup as well, like Garnacho and Mabry, who play on the wings as well, then Rashford will have a lot of pressure on him to pull out some performances. Otherwise, he definitely won't be getting some game time. And I think most of it comes down to the fact that he isn't confident enough. He has definitely lost his instinct by a mile, because, like you mentioned, last season, it almost looked like he could take on any defense all by himself and then go for a shot and score a goal for us. And he was one of those players because of which Oli stayed in the job for this long, because he was that player who was able to generate that moment in a game and we would get a goal and then grind out a result. But this season, I think that a lot of his play where he is not that great, it kind of got exposed, especially when it comes to tracking back and pressing, because that's how Rangnick pulls out his team. He hasn't been able to do that well, and that is also one of the another reason being that he doesn't really compliment the fullback that he's playing alongside with. He doesn't really acknowledge the overlap being made and make that extra pass. He just runs into a blind alley, or he just goes for a shoot.
And his work rate off the ball as well is nowhere near good enough in order to help defensively and on transitions and stuff. It's no way, it don't work no way near hard enough. And I think that's kind of a privileged thing in his head where because he's played well for so long, it's kind of like he thinks it's a God-given right that you don't have to put in as much work as other players. Whereas you look at people like Mo Salah, Bernardo Silva. We watched Bernardo Silva in that game yesterday. He was absolutely everywhere across the pitch. Like I remember him putting a really important tackle in against Vinicius, I think he was in their box, in City's box, and then he goes to the other end and creates chance. Like this is the kind of level it's getting to now with modern footballers.
Yeah, I think he's a bit arrogant as well. Is that he wants guaranteed playing time? Exactly. Earn it. Earn your playing game time. Yeah. You've got no right to demand any game time on this season. You've got to start right at the beginning again in the preseason to get your place back, because if you play like that, why would you deserve game time? You don't get any.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when more players come into the fold, so you think now, think about the wingers in the world right now. I've just mentioned one. Then I'm a massive fan of someone like Vinicius Junior. But even in the Premier League, you've got Heung-min Son, you've got Mane, you've got even what's his name, Diaz, who's coming in January. It looks incredible. The young players for Arsenal looking really good on the wings.
Yeah, Martinelli and Saka.
Yeah, Rashford's no way near them. Absolutely no way near them. And then you think we're going to bring more players in the summer to compete for them places. You can't even. He's half and half in a team now. So when we get another 2 attacking players, whatever it is, in summer, I think he's really going to struggle to get back into that team unless he starts really kicking on now.
Because as it stands, if we do end up getting Nunes, because we pretty close to him, and we also managed to get an Nkunku as well in the team, I really don't see how Rashford is going to be able to get some game time in the way that he's been performing this season, because those 2 players are going to be coming in with a lot of momentum into our side, and they have proven themselves to actually demand for game time. So I don't really see how Rashford actually wants or sees himself getting some game time next season without actually pulling out a good performance.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that heading into the summer. It's a list of kind of problems we've got, numerous things going on at the club. Just sticking with attackers, guys, and another thing Romano was talking about was Cristiano Ronaldo, and he says Cristiano Ronaldo's contract is valid for another year, and his hope is to stay at Man United, but only if Erik ten Hag is really sure he can believe in Cristiano as the key player for next season's team. Sam, are you happy to keep him for another year?
Yeah, I think this season he's been arguably our best player in a team that has been abysmal, which is one of the worst teams I've ever seen. And he scored 18 goals in the league in a shit team, in one of the worst performances out of every competition by, February? We're out of everything. Out of top 4 literally about a month later. So it's just, he deserves another year if he continues playing like he has, when he's supposedly past it and he's supposedly 37 and not think that he's performed. And I think he's equaled his second best season for United. Obviously, I don't think he's ever going to get near the 30-goal season that he did, but I think to equal the second best record, he can arguably beat it as well, because we've got, 3 games left?
Yeah, 2 games.
So he could arguably beat that, and that this would be his second ever best goal-scoring season for United. So, I think he's worth keeping around. I think he'd be great for big games, big occasions. So next season, Liverpool, City, those kind of games, I think that's the kind of guy you need. But I think then you could bring in a young striker who's going to play in the sort of games who are not so massive, or a guy who wants to play in the early stages to the FA Cup or in the Europa Leagues. I don't want to see Ronaldo in the Europa League. There's no need for it. Bringing a young striker to take that pressure off him so he can be at his prime best every single game he plays. Because he had that little period just after Christmas, didn't he?
I remember.
Where he sort of didn't score for a while. So if you've got another young striker in your ranks and Ronaldo has a little bit of an off day, or maybe he's not feeling it, you can bring that guy in and he can still guarantee you're going to score goals, which is what we didn't have when Ronaldo wasn't performing.
Well, this goes back to the point what we were saying with Rashford before, right? So Cristiano Ronaldo's 13 years older than Rashford and still puts in far more work rate than him on the pitch and has a bigger output in terms of goals and assists and what he actually contributes to the team. So this is what I'm saying. There's no God-given right Rashford gets a starting place because he doesn't even put in the work off the ball, let alone like if he's getting goals and assists, sometimes you can kind of allow it a little bit or allow a little bit of leeway, but he's doing neither. Whereas Ronaldo at the age of 37, what he's doing in the Premier League is just unreal for me, absolutely unbelievable. And when the new manager comes in, I believe personally, I think Ten Hag's going to use him because I think he'll watch how he's performed this season. I think, well, if he can do that in a really crap United team, imagine what he can do when there's a proper system in place, when there's new, fresh signings, young, hungry players around him.
He's also got the right mentality that Ten Hag wants. Like Ten Hag wants players who are going to look after themselves, put the work in training, want to win all the time, want to push themselves and stuff like that. And Ronaldo's, that's his entire mentality. And that's exactly what Ten Hag wants. And that's why a lot of players are going to be gone because they're not going to have the mentality that Ten Hag wants. Ronaldo matches that.
Yeah, and just as a manager, Shreyas obviously coming in, first of all, I believe he'll probably want to work with Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, what manager wouldn't, considering everything he's achieved in his career? But do you think if he does, stick with him, do you think he'll use him similar to how he uses Haller for Ajax? And if you bring the right players around him, surely he's going to score more goals, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the way he plays with his target man at Ajax, I think he's going to play Ronaldo in the same way. The only thing being that Ronaldo brings a lot more to the plate than Sebastian Haller. And that's why I think his passing ability and link-up play, if he has the chemistry with his forward players, I think it's still at an elite level, and we were able to see that against Brentford as well. The way he was linked up with
really
Mata,
good,
I think it was
we were saying it in the watch along, like some of his flicks, his whole like onto his chest, holding it up, like really good link up play.
Him and Juan Mata played really well together. They really played well together.
So I think that if he is able to get the chemistry right with the forward players that that would be there at the club next season, I think that he could once again be the best player that for us in that lineup, because he still got it. And if we are able to, like I mentioned before as well, if we are able to like generate around 10 to 15 chances per game for him, he is going to be scoring goals for us without a shadow of doubt.
Absolutely. And to think next season as well, if he does stay 38 in the Prem, and if he does that again, puts in them same numbers, he's the guy is just an absolute freak. But again, be exciting to see what Ten Hag does with him, obviously when he starts in the summer. Now, preview, guys, you know what I'm going to say. It's a brain teaser. Nice, easy one. Well, I say it's easy. It's pretty hard to guess, but yeah. So basically, Brighton are currently joint top for most draws in the league this season. But what team, what do you think is the other team who've had same amount of draws as him? I butchered that then, sorry, but you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
Who do you think? Who do you think's had the most draws alongside?
Aston Villa?
Nope. Near like they say, near him on the table, but I think Brighton are ninth in a minute. No, Wolves are up there, but they're not.
Palace?
Yeah, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace on 14 draws. IKEA FC, they're both on. Mental, absolutely mental. It's weird one with Brighton because a lot of the games you watch them in, we're obviously going to get into the way they play and everything like that later on, but they seem to just like match everybody equally and never go further than that. Like they just kind of like they'll keep a steady performance, take the draw and run. So 14 draws is out of how many games you have in the Prem? 38, something like that.
Yeah.
Mental. I'd love to know what the most draw. I'm gonna search that later on. The most draws in a single season, because that can't be far off. Interesting. Anyway, looking towards the game, lads. We're away to Brighton, who are obviously punching above their weight with the budget they currently have. They're currently in the top half of the table, ninth, as I suggested before, on 44 points, and they have a game in hand against Wolves as well. We've only lost twice to them, actually, since the Premier League began, and both of them was away at their ground. But in terms of overall head-to-head, we've had 11 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. In terms of players available, I think Sancho, as we know, is out until the end of the season. I think Maguire's back in training. I'm pretty sure I've seen something on that he's back training now. Fred will be fit for this game because he obviously had a little cameo against Brentford, so we should have, nearly a full game in the tank. And Shaw's out until the end of the season. I think everybody else is available pretty much, unless Rangnick says different in his press conference. Shreyas, we did the watch along for Brentford and played much better in most aspects in that game, apart from the odd silly mistake. Do you expect a similar performance tomorrow evening?
I think that if we go with the same lineup, we could actually expect a similar performance because the Brentford is a good team as well, and they were in a hot streak of form when we were playing against them. So I think if we pick the right players and if we are able to implement the same strategy against them, we could have a really good game against them as well, comfortably get those 3 points. But the only worrisome part for me would just be how Rangnick is able to pick his midfield in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I'll say about Brighton is under their manager, they do play really, really good football. Do you think someone like Graham Potter, Sam, should get a job higher up? No disrespect to Brighton, but should he be in a job now, maybe a top 6 team or somewhere like that, or someone in Europe with a bit more pedigree?
Yeah, I think he's proved his ability. I think he's a very good tactically aware manager. Has worked with players that other people have sort of cast aside. Danny Welbeck, Lallana, that kind of ilk, and then he's developed young players as well, like Tariq Lamptey, Basuma, that kind of player. So I think he's got the chops to do it. Should he go to I don't think he's ready for a Chelsea, a United. I don't think he's ready for that yet. But someone like a Wolves or West Ham, Leicester, that kind of level, definitely. I think that's something he could do. Or go abroad to somebody like Villarreal or
Valencia.
Thinking Valencia, something like that. Yeah, people who are playing European competition regularly. Yeah, that's something I think he'd be relishing that challenge. I think he wants to stay in the Premier League, though. I think that's his plan. So I think maybe, because I know he was in line for the Everton job, but why the hell would you go there at this point? Because it's just utter chaos. But I think the next sort of job that like a Wolves or a Leicester, like you said, I think if one of those jobs comes open, I think he might be the sort of number one guy that they might look at.
I mean, you never know, because the season they're having, Leicester, they're not having the best season. I think they're 11th or something like that. Yeah. A pretty poor season under Brendan Rodgers, so you never know. But I actually think the way Potter sets up, he'd actually suit La Liga. Somewhere like Valencia. I mean, Gary Neville got a job there, so why couldn't Graham Potter? You know what I mean? Could happen.
Well, to be fair, Gary Neville's mate owns Valencia. That's why he got the job. So.
Oh yeah, but I'm sure he'd do a better job than Gary Neville did there anyway. Spanish League, you ready for the segue now? Spanish player, Juan Mata, deserves a start again tomorrow, do you think?
Yeah.
One of the better players, obviously, on Monday night and knitted that midfield and attack together.
Yeah, I think he definitely deserves a start considering the performance that he put in. And another reason being that him just being in that midfield, I think it just brought the whole team together, the midfield as well as the front line, because that's something that we had been missing for quite some time when we had Bruno playing at that cam spot. It never really looked like the front line and the midfield were able to click together. But just having Mata in there, I think it was the first time that we could actually see so many link-ups in that game. Mata and Bruno were linking up, Mata and Ronaldo were linking up. Elanga was also having some really good moments on the flank as well. I think on a few occasions, Delo was also able to nick in some balls. And, I think it was a game where everyone was very, very much involved. And the way he was actually able to take care of the ball when he had possession, not just running into a defender, or he just playing smart football, playing short passes, exploiting spaces. And Matic also has the short passes with Matic as well. I think he definitely deserves a start in this one, because with Sancho out, we need that creative flair in our squad. So I think Mata does make a case, and I think he does deserve a start in this one.
Yeah. And Monday night, Sam, it just seemed like players wanted to play with him, didn't it? Like the way he was linking up with Shreyas was saying, and he was like Bruno, Ronaldo, as you touched on before. Do you think he'll play again tomorrow?
I'd like him to. Whether he does or not, I'm not sure. But I think what has Ralph got to lose at this point? Why not play him? Because might as well, because he played well, earned all his plaudits and stuff. So why not? Linked up well with Ronaldo. I think Bruno enjoys playing with him. I think Bruno loves playing with Ronaldo. So I think that's Ronaldo Mata. So I think that's the thing. Again, I'd love to see the youth get a chance. I think they could play like Garnacho or Hannibal could play really well next to Mata as well. I think that
Hannibal especially. I think
that'd be a good opportunity to do. But yeah, he deserves a start for sure for me.
100%. Now looking at Brighton's last 5 results, this is similar to the Brentford preview. You know, they've beat Wolves 3-0. They drew Southampton 2-2, lost to City 3-0, but beat Spurs 1-0 and then beat Arsenal 2-1. So they've beat Arsenal, Tottenham and Wolves away in the last 5 games and only lost to City. Again, similar to what we were saying about Brentford when we were looking at their form, like in really good form at the moment. They defend really well as a team, collective, and have quality individual players like Trossard, Lamptey, Bissouma. They don't have an outstanding goal scorer. I think Neil Maupay's on 9 goals, but again, they get the goals as a collective and the assist. And another back 5 lads that we're coming against, but we seem to be doing well against this formation for whatever reason. However, Brighton keep the ball much better than most teams. Like they're really good in possession, so I'm expecting a bit more of a tough game in that aspect. Sam, I know there's one player specifically in that Brighton team who you're a big fan of, Lamptey at right back, who again you mentioned before. Why is that? What is it about him that you like as a player?
I think he's got everything you want in a fullback. I think United should definitely put a bid in for him in the summer. I think he'd be
How much
ideal.
do you think? How much do you think?
How much is he worth? I'd say 40 million, 40 plus. But how much we're going to end up paying for him? 60,
2 different things,
60,
isn't it,
70.
Yeah.
It could be absolutely ridiculous. So, but I would seriously consider putting a bid in for him. And so I think him and Dallo, I think that could be a good right back option.
Yeah.
Them two, the sort of 2 options. I'd sell Wan-Bissaka because I just don't think he's right for this for our team. But yeah, he's great going forward. He's powerful. He's quick, like absolutely rapid. He's got a bit of bite to him as well. He likes to tackle, likes to sort of give it a bit of a shithousery, as I like.
Yeah, especially for his size as well. He's
not a massive guy, but he's like a sort of bulldog.
Mentality.
Bulldog pit bull mentality. He'll go at you. But he's very good defensively as well. He's good at covering, good at getting back up and back up and down the wing and stuff like that, and getting back to defend his goalkeeper in his box and stuff. So yeah, he's got everything I think we should look for in a fullback, and he's also young. I'm not sure how old he is. I'm sure he's like early 20s.
23 or something like that.
23. So still room to develop, still room to grow, and I think he'd be under Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag would relish having him under his thing and being able to develop him into a world-class fullback, or maybe not world-class, but like a high-level fullback. Top level. Yeah.
Interesting. I am a fan myself, I must admit. Every time I've watched him, he seems very good on the ball, even dribbling with it. Like when he gets to the byline, he can beat a few players. Got a good cross on him. So, yeah, I won't mind looking at him heading into the summer. I think, obviously, I believe there's other priorities, but if they're going to sign someone to compete with Dallo or whatever and take that number 1 spot, then I don't see any reason why not. Shreyas, another individual, Yves Bissouma, has been outstanding for them. 2 questions for you. 1, do you think he will move in the summer to a bigger team? Again, no disrespect to Brighton. And 2, where would you rank him amongst the top DMs in the league?
I think he could make his move to a top 6 team this summer, because he has practically shown that he definitely has the capability as well as the quality for it. And secondly, I think that he's been absolutely consistent for them, week in, week out, putting in same quality performances. And I think he would be one of those players who would go into that top, any of those top 6 sides on a bargain deal, because when people don't really see Bissouma that much, I would say, if you compare it to other defensive midfielders that we have in the Premier League, because you would get Ruben Neves being mentioned a lot, you would get NDD being mentioned a lot, but Bissouma doesn't really get mentioned that much. So I think he's one of those underrated CDMs who is really consistent with the ball, is able to hold the ball well, and is physical as well. Doesn't really hesitate in going for a physical battle either. So I definitely expect him to go in to any of the top 6 sides.
I think he was really good against Chelsea as well. I'm not sure if any of you has watched that game, but in that game specifically, considering the midfield that Chelsea have, the likes of Jorginho, Kante, he stood out in that game and looked really good. I don't know why. I've just kind of got a feeling that he's going to go Arsenal, especially if they get Champions League football as well. I think he'll go Arsenal. Don't know what it is. I can see him moving there. No idea why. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Quick question to you both. Cristiano Ronaldo is 2 goals off 20 plus goals in the Premier League and off, I think, 700 club goals or something like that at 37 years old. Will he do it? Gun to your head. What do you think?
Yeah,
I can see him doing it. You only see that 1 goal, Brighton, and
1 goal per game. How fuming is he going to be? You saw when he
he'd be pissed.
That goal got reeled offside against Brentford on Monday night, and he was just even 10 minutes after, he was like, "Fuck's sake!" Just proper screaming.
He'll be pissed off if he doesn't do it. But I could definitely, it's easily doable. Easily doable.
I mean, for a fact he's got it in his head, don't you? 100% he is looking at that and thinking he's all about records. He's been breaking records for the past bloody 17 years or whatever. So he'll definitely have it in his head, and I can see him doing it. I hope it does against Brighton, and then Palace is the last game, innit? Funnily enough, because they're both IKEA FC, aren't they? Both got the most draws. Crazy. Now, onto how Brighton set up tactically. They are just about the only team in world football at the moment that can seemingly change shape, formation, and personnel on a match-by-match kind of basis, with zero consequence. All of Potter's players are flexible, versatile, and capable of not only playing but understanding several different positions in several different formations. For example, they played a diamond against Brentford, which worked wonders, but then when they played Chelsea, they matched them with the 3-4-1-2 formation, I believe it was. So they rotate quite a lot, and each player is kind of comfortable in different positions. Brighton have completed the 4th most passes per game this season, behind only Premier League's top 3 sides. Unlike the 3 sides above them, they complete a higher percentage of long passes and often to look for more direct route in their build-up. Shreyas, I feel like Fred will be important to this game, considering how good they are in possession. And Fred is the man, obviously, when it comes to tenacity and breaking up play and all that kind of stuff. How would you go about stopping them, like the main threats, for example, and without going into predicted 11 too much?
I think it would go down to the formation as well that Brighton goes for, because the last time that we played against them, they did play with a diamond, and we did struggle against them the last time around. It took Ronaldo to score that crazy solo goal in order to get us going. But I think that in this one, Fred would be important, because we will be needing that energy in the midfield, because we've seen McTominay as well. After even if he's having a good game, after the 50th minute mark, he's just vanishes off the pitch. So I would still say that I would start McTominay for this one. The only reason being that against Bissouma, I don't really trust Matic to have that much of physical caliber to actually match up with him. So I think McTominay would be essential in this one, just in order to match the physicality, because he's the only player in that defensive midfield which I could look and say that he can actually maintain that physical quality in that midfield. And I think and when he gets knackered, you could bring on Fred and just get those energy levels up and start going all out attack. But I think he definitely needs to rotate the both of them, and I hope he does that smartly, because both of them, I've seen Fred as well and I've seen McTominay as well, they can't really go the full 90 maintaining that same quality. After like 50 to 55 minutes, both of them start to drop off. So if we are able to rotate them smartly, I think that we will be able to maintain the overall quality of the team and have an impactful performance as well.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing Matic, Fred, and Mato, because I don't think we've ever played that before. I think the right balance is there. You've obviously got Fred's in terms of with his energy, tenacity, all that kind of stuff is higher than any other of our midfielders. Gets about the pitch and distance covered a lot. So I won't mind seeing that at all. I think that'd be okay going into the game tomorrow. Sam, 23 points from 17 away games. That's an average of 1.4 points per game. Simply not good enough this season. Do you think the reason we had that 29 game sort of, was it 29 games undefeated? I think it was away from home.
Yeah.
Do you think the reason we had that under Ole was the counter-attacking style he played? Because now it seems like when we go away to other grounds, we're so open. Like teams can any team can. It's like it's easy to play against us.
Yeah, I think maybe the counter attack helps, but I also think defensively we're a shambles at times. I just think we make it so easy for, like, Norwich looks like prime City against us cutting through our defense. They just looked like it was one of the easiest things in the world because our defense is just an absolute shambles. We don't have a consistent lineup. You don't know. Well, now you probably know because of injuries, you probably know who's going to play. But at the time, you didn't know who's going to play. It could be Varane and Maguire. Shaw might be there. Tellers might be there. You didn't know if it was Wan-Bissaka or Dallo. Phil Jones was thrown in randomly at a time. Eric Bailly is missing for some reason, even though he's been on the bench. So you don't know what your defense is. And your defense is built on partnerships and knowing exactly who's going to be there. So the goalkeeper can develop a relationship, the centre backs can develop relationships, full backs can develop them with the wingers or the forwards and stuff like that. That's how you develop a team, which is what City have, is what Liverpool have, which is what Chelsea have at times as well. And we don't have that. So you just throw in players in and hoping something sticks. And that's our defence. And it's pretty much all our team besides maybe the forward line, but even the forward line's got its issues at times. That's our team in a nutshell. You don't know who the midfield three are ever going to be. You don't know who the defence line are going to be. The only players you know are going to play are Ronaldo and De Gea. That's it, really. So you can't create team chemistry and you can't create patterns of play and you can't create solidity and sort of consistency with that. And that's what led to our downfall. And that's why we keep conceding and we just look awful.
So do you think with the point average that I say there is 1.4 per game away from home, you think in order to up that, the consistency in team selection needs to be sorted immediately?
Team selection and then team sort of tactics, because obviously Ollie started with a counter-attack style, which worked for us. We had that bounce, didn't we, where we were just beating teams and just tearing teams apart.
And people figured it out, didn't they?
And people worked out. And then he tried to go to a more possession-based sort of tactic lineup, and then you've got the wrong players for that. Like you've got Harry Maguire and stuff like that, who doesn't do well in a possession-based thing. He's good in a counter-attack lineup. He's good at just getting his head on stuff, getting rid and passing it out and going with the ball, but he's not good at possession play and stuff like that. And it's the same with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not an attacking fullback. So it doesn't work. Like you can't use him to attack. You can't use him for overlaps. You can't use him for stuff.
You can start to see the reasons now why Ollie was kind of playing the way he was playing, especially you see because they're in this open raw system under Rangnick now, where he wants them to be proactive on the front foot, keep a high line. You look at Maguire, especially Wan-Bissaka in this system. The reason why he played Scott and Fred all the time is because, any other midfield combination doesn't seem to work at all. So you can kind of like Mourinho when he left and he was saying, finishing second with that team was one of my best achievements. And everyone was like, at the time, scratching their head thinking, is he all right? Now you're starting to see that. You're starting to think, well, yeah, actually that made sense why he was doing that all. Do you know what I'm saying?
The same with Louis van Gaal. Like everybody was saying, oh, this is boring as fuck. And it was. But he was building a team to get it to the way he wanted to play. And he just obviously ran out of time because it just got to the point where it was just people were sick of it. Same with Mourinho. Like when Mourinho doesn't get his way, he throws his toys out the pram. And that's what cost him his job because he's getting toxic. He's just chucking people under the bus left, right, and centre, which he can't do as a manager. Ralph's doing something similar, but he's doing it in the right way. He's not targeting individual players. He's saying this whole thing is not good enough from the top to the bottom. It's not good enough. And he knows exactly what the issue is. So hopefully now with Ten Hag coming in, he knows he's identified all the issues, what the problem areas are of the pitch positions, get the right players in to play a style or a system that is going to work for the players that he has, rather than trying to fit a style to the players who clearly can't play that style.
That's why I think this summer's going to be so interesting, man. So interesting, so many things. Now, time of the preview, I usually ask one player you would take from Brighton, but I want to do something a little bit different this time and ask you guys to make a team up from the bottom half of the table and try and make it the best you can, but we're going to do it very quickly. So the teams you can pick from are Newcastle, Leicester, Palace, Villa, Brentford, Southampton, Burnley, Leeds, Everton, Watford and Norwich. So goalkeeper, lads, who do you want out of them teams? You've obviously the main picks out of there. You got Schmeichel, you've got Martinez, Aston Villa, Nick Pope, Burnley.
I think Martinez or that guy from Brentford, either one of them. I think.
Pickford?
No, not for
take,
club form is shite.
So you take Martinez, yeah?
Yeah.
Martinez. Right back, Trippier, Ricardo Pereira. Trying to think any other decent right backs. Brentford.
Godfrey. Is Godfrey right back?
For Everton, yeah, he can play right back, but
not Godfrey. Max Aarons for Norwich.
Max Aarons for Norwich. Yeah, he plays right back. You got Livramento as well. Southampton has had a really good season this season. Who do you think? Trippier, Pereira,
Trippier or Aarons? Trippier or Aarons? I'd go with.
I'll go Aarons.
Max Aarons over Trippier and Ricardo Pereira. Really?
Yeah.
I'd go with Trippier. So Nick, you pick the deciding vote.
I'd say Trippier. Yeah. Definitely. So Trippier, then 2 centre backs we'll do as a partnership. Let's have a look.
Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans. Yerry Mina.
Yeah.
Fofana. Fofana's a very good shout.
Yeah.
Palace, no. Aston Villa. Centre backs, Tyrone Mings.
No.
Nah.
No, so I'm not a fan of him. Who is your partnership? I don't think Watford and Norwich.
Mina's good, isn't he? And Fofana. That'd be good.
Mina and Fofana.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Okay, swiftly moving on. Left back. Who do you think left back?
Out
of them. You've got, so Leicester's left back, you got Castagna, decent player. You've got Brentford, Rico Henry, Southampton. I think Bertrand still plays for them, left back. Burnley, you've got Maxwell Cornet, very good player. That'd be my personal choice out of him. Everton, you've got this old Digne, so they've got that Ukrainian fella. He's right back.
Mikolenko.
Mikolenko for Everton. I would go with personally. I'd go with Cornet. Cornet for Burnley. Done very well for them since he's gone to there.
Cornet plays left back or left wing?
Yeah, left back. Oh. He's versatile. He's played right wing, left wing, but predominantly when he came over from, I think it was Lyon in League One, he played left back.
So I'm struggling for a good one, so I'll probably I think he's probably
it's either Cornet or Castagna for Leicester.
Yeah, Cornet I'll go with.
Cornet. Okay, and let's go with a midfield 3. So obviously Leicester, you got Tielemans and Dida.
But that's it, innit? You gotta go with them too.
Yeah, Newcastle, you got Guimaraes, who's doing very well there. You got
them 3. That's Guimaraes, Tielemans, Ndidi. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good.
You got Ward-Prowse, Jacob Ramsey.
No.
Okay.
No, not as good as that.
At Everton. Decore. No, stick him in that.
I think that's the best. That's the best 3.
Yeah, Ndidi, Tielemans, and Guimaraes.
Just to point out, massively better than our midfield.
Yeah, definitely. I think most of the bottom half is, in fairness. And then you get to your attack line. So obviously, Newcastle, you got St. Maximum and Chris Wood, I think, plays for them. Leicester, you've got Vardy, Harvey Barnes. Anyone else I'm missing from Leicester? Who else plays for Leicester? Iheanacho, Daka. Palace, you've got Zaha. Villa.
Who's the I like the Palace guy. Is it what's his name now? I've got him in my fantasy team.
Is
he from Celtic?
Oh no, Edward.
Edward. Odson Edward. He's pretty good. I like him.
Villa, you got Danny Ings, Coutinho. You could probably as an attacking player if you want. Brentford, you got Ivan Toney and Bruno. Southampton, Shea Adams, and whoever the
What's
other
that? What's that Chelsea player? Is it Borja?
Broha.
Broha's a good player.
Broha, Coutinho.
Leeds, you've got Rafinha, Patrick Bamford, Dan James, if you want to throw him in.
Broha, Coutinho, and Rafinha would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Everton, you got Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh, Richarlison.
Yeah, Richarlison.
It's a good shout.
So you could have, I don't know, Jamie Vardy as well, don't forget, is in that mix.
Nah.
No. You telling me?
Don't want him. I don't want him.
Over who? Who are you putting in instead?
Coutinho,
Broha, and then Richarlison. Them three.
You're putting Broha in over Jamie Vardy?
Yeah.
Shreyas, are you agreeing with this?
No, not really. But I'd personally, I would go with Weghorst. I would throw in Weghorst just to keep it a bit spicy.
Again, over Jamie Vardy. I can't believe what I'm hearing here. Right.
I'll pick one. Shreyas, you pick one, and then Nick, you pick one. So I'm going with Broja from Southampton.
I'll go Richarlison.
You know I'm going to.
You got Vardy. Have Vardy.
Of course, Jamie Vardy. Come on, it's one of the greatest Premier League signings ever. Came from Fleetwood. Won the Premier League with Leicester. Scores double figures consecutively every single season. How can you not put him in your team? Crazy. Nutcases. Right, let's get into the predicted 11s. I'll blitz through mine first very quickly as per. So I think David De Gea, Diego Dalot, Varane. I think Maguire will come back into it. Telles at left back. I think Mata, McTominay and Fred will play. And I think Ilanga, Ronaldo and Bruno on the left again because I thought he had a good game on the left. So that's what I'm going to go with. Sam, do you want to give me yours?
De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Lindelof, Telles. I think Matic is going to play again. I don't think he should, but I think he will. I think Fred comes back in. I think Mata keeps his place. Ilanga, Ronaldo, and Rashford because we've got nobody else.
So no Bruno or McTominay?
I mean, you suppose you could play Bruno on the left, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That's what he did against Brentford. That's why I think he'll play there.
Maybe he gets rid of Rashford and plays Bruno. Maybe he does that. Yeah,
I would. 100%.
Drop Rashford and put Bruno in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Shreyas?
Yeah, I'll actually go with the same team that you went with against Brentford. I don't really see him making many changes to that lineup because I would say this is the first time we actually had a winning lineup where everyone put in a good performance. Yeah. The only change I could see happening would be that Fred could come in for McTominay, but except that I think he'll go with the same lineup.
Yeah, I think McTominay needs to get dropped, from being completely honest. Yeah. I think it's been pretty crap. It's been a passenger in the past 3 games. I haven't really noticed him at all. First half, he was okay against Brentford, started off well, but as you said, Trey has just faded in it.
Second half, is it not out of 3 passes he made?
That was Chelsea, that. I think
that Chelsea.
Yeah.
Awful. Awful.
Even still, he's not performing to his full at the moment. Score predictions, lads. What do you think? How do you see it playing out tomorrow? Tough one, I think.
Brighton, it's hard to score against Brighton, isn't it? Like, it's tough. Yeah. Like, not many teams batter them. Like, there's been a couple.
I think the last time we played, we was both at that game, weren't we, Sam?
Yeah.
We beat him 2-0, didn't we? Ronaldo's goal, and then Bruno scored at the end, I think, from that little chop he did.
Yeah.
I see it being a bit more difficult this time around. We're obviously in a bit worse form.
It's away as well. It's not Old Trafford, so it's
tough one to predict, to be honest.
I could see it being a bit stuffy, like 1-0 or 2-1, something like that. I could see it definitely being a bit tight and not being sort of as
open,
as free flowing as it was against Brentford. Like, I thought we were quite sort of well drilled and played well against them, but I can't see it being like that against Brighton.
Okay, so 2-1. Did you say then?
I'll go with 2-1 just so it's a bit better to watch. Ronaldo and fuck it. Let's see Fred score a screamer again.
And that's Sam predicting a win, by the way. I think it's in a good few weeks, the first time he's predicted a win. So fingers crossed for that. Shreyas, what do you think?
I think 2-0.
Positive again?
And I think Ronaldo will score the brace.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to go with a 0-0. I think it's going to be a 0-0.
Oh, God, I can't help that.
The day that both of us go for a win, Nick decides to go for a draw.
You got to switch up sometimes, haven't you?
I
just feel like...
I can't do a 0-0, man. Oh,
yeah.
Boring.
Yeah, I think 0-0 is going to be a draw. Brighton have got that many draws. I think they haven't got too much to play for now. They've got a couple more games. I
wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me.
I obviously, as any United fan, I hope we win. And we win comfortably, but I can see us getting a draw. Let's see what happens. But the match is live tomorrow evening, guys. 5:30 kickoff, I think, in the evening. And as always, we'll be live for team news, post-match analysis, and maybe a watch-along. So make sure you tune in for that on our YouTube channel. Thank you to all of you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click that button just below this video and check out some of our videos. We're trying to push that subscriber number up to about 150. So we'd really appreciate it.
Brand new video dropped yesterday, A to Z generator, where me, Shreyas, Danny, and Nick all try and pick a team using a wheel of doom with all the letters of the alphabet on. Let's just say I got screwed, but check out to see why. So yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple of interesting selections, but I don't think any of us got a bad team. I think all of us got a pretty.
I think we ended up with decent teams, but a certain player on your team who, we'll see.
Find out who. He's not on the thumbnail, but find out who. Go watch it and find out who, because I'm not happy about it.
Had a lot of comedy value though. I'll give it that. And guys, also follow us on socials if you want regular transfer updates, interactions with the lads. And clips from the shows that we do as well. So just type in Real Reds Talk on any platform.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe, like the video, push up the views on this this A to Z generator. It's a long video, so maybe if you stick it on when you sort of cooking or doing something like that. It's a long video, but it's really good. It's really interesting. So definitely check it out.
Absolutely. And thank you, lads, for joining me. As always, appreciate your time and your thoughts. Let's finish this season with some class, And I will see you in the next one.
Please.
Thank you very much, guys. See you in the next one.
Peace.
Cheers.